That's right, folks. Shit. That's right, folks. It's me, and I'm live. And I started the stream brilliant. Didn't I start the stream? But my mic's working and everything. Look at that. The mic's working and everything. I didn't prime the bubbles. Hold on. The bubble tubes have now been primed. The telly is switched on good. And everything's just brilliant, everybody. Oh, I've still got... Here, I have just realised I can start wearing glasses on stream again. Because the bubble blast won't mess up my glasses. I can be maybe a specky bastard once again. Oh my goodness me, James. That's exciting. Here, well, get rid of these shiters. Although with these on I can't see that screen. So maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I won't. How's it going, everybody? Welcome in. How you doing? I've had quite a productive day. Already, right? Tell you what. Woke up this morning, right? Like 5:30 in the morning. I done my skincare routine because my skin's all fucked, but it's not going to be fucked quite soon because I've now got a skincare routine. Did it. And then I went to our newly built gym, which is, we put some weights in Rachel's office. Did some weights. I then, cooked an actual breakfast, eggs and toast. I then did some After Effects work. Do you know what I mean? Productivity. Then, I went and saw a pal because her son wanted to borrow a prop for a film that he's making. Delivered the prop. Bang, ticked that off on my to-do list. And then did a wee thing for work as well. So that's cool. And I'm more or less on time to stream. And a lot of people weren't even expecting me to stream today because it's Friday today. It's Friday. So that's all in my good news. And when we were out and about and kicking about with Fred, kicking about in the car, we took Fred as well because he's a wee soul. So he was just in the back. Welcome in, everybody. How you doing? That's my good news, is that I've been quite productive. I've been quite productive. How are yous doing? What's even happening? Welcome in, and what is even happening? I'll start at the top. Hello, Rye3D. Hello, Skywatcher. Hello, Carivore. Hello, Necknell. Hello, Spoggers. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on to the TikTok as well. Going to stream for TikTok. Fuck it. Although if I'm streaming for TikTok, I need to stop using phrases like fuck it. Right, so a new one and a new live. And then maybe I need to wipe the camera. I should do this before I go live to use, shouldn't I? There we go, so I've wiped the camera. This is what you need to do nowadays to stream on TikTok. You can't do it on OBS. Honking setup, a honking setup. Anyway, right, so let's do that. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Add a topic. Daily life. Let's call it daily life. Chat and interview. There we go. Friday. So welcome in, folks. If you have got any good news, I'd like to know what your good news is. I would like to know what your good news is, so feel free to stick it in chat, and we can share our good news, and then we will all be good. So welcome in, folks, if you're just joining us. How's it going? Let's start at the top. Wizard Patchimus says 10:30 on a Friday. Is this a dream? I know. I need to keep double, triple checking that I'm not supposed to be somewhere, but I'm no. I do kind of have a meeting at 3 o'clock, but I'm not getting paid today, and I'm maybe getting paid to do this. Rye3D has redeemed a hydration. I don't have a hydration, but I've got a very large French vanilla latte. So I'm going to drink that, if that's okay, Rye3D. And that is very much not hydrating. Tasty. It's all mainly sugar. It's sugar and caffeine. But it's very, very tasty. How are you doing? Welcome in. I hope everybody's doing brilliant. Hello, Rye3D, Skywatcher, Carivore, Necknell, Spoggers, Terrible Clint, Panchimus, Chameleon, Yoda, and Coke, Carivore, Necknell again, Spoggers. Everything working? Who are you and what did you do with the real 10:30? Listen, I'm leaning into Twitch, right? A lot of people think that Twitch is going downhill, you know? But I've got a feeling that it's going to go uphill. What is that feeling based on? Just like naivety, basically hope and naivety. Everybody's numbers are down across the board and have been for months. But hey, guess what? See if you just believe based on like nothing at all, then you know I might go back to like lockdown numbers or something. We'll see how it goes. What I need, right, is for every one of you, right, to tell 15 of your friends to come and watch the stream. And then if yous all do that, suss out maybe which of your friends has got Amazon Prime first, right? Because, you know, and then you tell them, oh, there's this guy, you into guys complaining about stuff every day. Aye, well, there you go, you know. So, no, I'm going to start coming on at night time as well, because there's a big nighttime crowd that I haven't seen for a long time. But everything's going alright. Spoggers asks, how's Fredo? So, Fred Macaulay, that's my dog, not the comedian. Got some bad news recently, so we're still waiting on the actual diagnosis for whatever's up with him. But he's doing alright, he's in good spirits, he's bouncing about. Hello Anna Realta, how you doing? Hello to all the lovelies, sending all and only the best goodness to you all. Thank you very much, Anna Realta. How's it even going? Welcome in. Hello, Pedropolis. Pedropolis asks, are we getting 5 streams a week now, or is this a special treat? Well, you've had more than 5 streams a week this week, because I did a couple of extra ones. I did a nighttime. Did I do a nighttime one? I did at least 2 where I was walking about. So you've already had 5 this week. But no, So the deal is, right, I'm available to work in the BBC on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's just the vibe that I've gave to them, so that I can focus on streaming for the rest of the week. But quite often they don't need me. So on days where they don't need me, so I'm not an employee, I'm freelance. On days where they don't need me, I'll come on, I'll do this. Unless I've got some other work coming in. So Monday to Thursday, that's when I shouldn't really have any excuse to not stream. You know what I mean? Monday to Thursday, 1:30 in the afternoon. And then, if I don't have anything on the go on a Friday, I might as well stream on the Friday as well. Might as well. But welcome in. Right3D says, fucking brilliant, like one of these day in the life of my influencers waking up at 5 a.m. I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. intentionally. I just woke up and couldn't go back to sleep. So hello, how's it going, everybody? Trying a couple of different things. Streaming from Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and another type of YouTube. Horizontal, vertical on YouTube. So that's all exciting, isn't it? Streaming for TikTok on my phone as opposed to via OBS, and that should be better for numbers and stuff, but I'm not too sure. Hello TikTok people, feel free to say hello if you're on TikTok, but I think there's one person there and it's me. Two Crooked Fingers says, what a Friday treat, Carnivore's in with a bit of good news, and listen everybody, we want to know what your good news is. If you've got any good news, please feel free to stick it in chat. I would like to know what your good news is. Carnivore says, good news, my training day finished halfway through the day and now heading home. Was up at 5 a.m. for a 6 a.m. bus for a 2.5 hour journey and now halfway on the way back. Carnivore, that sounds absolutely brutal. Listen, it's Friday, you're on your way home, that's you're all sorted, feet up. Pedropolis says, how's the wee man? Fred's doing good. He doesn't know he's ill, is the thing. So he's still bouncing about, still full of beans. Pippa is literally full of beans because she's eating beans. Hello, yes, it's Bland. How's it going? Welcome in. Afternoon? Aye, it is afternoon. Are you just up? You just out your bed? I remember Scroobius Pip and I, a couple of months ago, were doing a recce on the shore of a loch where one of the filming locations, I'm just trying not to dox the location, but I'm not going to. One of the filming locations for his film. And so we're doing a recce, which means you go to the place in advance of you filming it, scout it out, make sure you've got transport, suss out what's going to be difficult. You just sort of scope the place, right? So we arrived at about 5 in the afternoon. I think it was after that. I think it might have been like 6:30, which is late evening, right? And we walk a fair bit, and there's a fair bit of things you need to go through to get down to this wee beach bit, right? So we get down to the beach bit, and there's a tent there. We're like, alright, so we're doing what we need to do, but we're sort of being respectful as well. Because somebody's doing their thing down there, you know what I mean? So as we get closer, the tent unzipped, and this wrecked guy just stumbles out the tent at 6:30 at night. And he's like, morning! And both of us are like, morning, how you doing? 6:30 in the evening, man. That guy, so he didn't know what we were up to, and I was expecting to get our head kicked in at any point. I was trying to tell Pip, keep the accent kind of low just now, because you don't know. I'll do the talking, right? But it was fine, it went fine, nobody got their heads kicked in, so it was fine. Community says, good news, I managed to get my normal printer set up and started printing line art for some of the concept art at low opacity on decent paper, so I can concentrate on learning how the markers I'm using blend together without the stress of figure drawing for each one. That sounds dynamite, Chameleon. Proper, iterative, process-based, creative project. That sounds right up my street. Bad news, says Carnivore, the bus driver has the fucking heating on. Have a word. Just like, mate, it's roasting. Any chance of the windies doing, mate? It might be, you never know, maybe the heating cools down the engine or something like that. There may be a reason for it. So don't just stare at the back of his head, hating him, sending him hateful vibes like I might do, because there might be a reason for it, you simply don't know. Wee Ness Kimbo says, what makes a French vanilla latte French? No idea, Wee Ness Kimbo. It was Roscoe that got me onto French vanilla lattes, because I was watching his stream about a year ago, and Roscoe's like, you know it's brilliant, everybody. See if you go to Tim Hortons and you get a French vanilla latte, they're brilliant. It doesn't sound like that. I used to be able to do a good Roscoe, but that wasn't a good Roscoe. Anyway, so I did that, went there, not sponsored, this isn't sponsored. Went to Tim Hortons's, and it's good. It's a good drink, but it's kind of hard to mess up because it is just purely sugar and coffee, which is why it tastes so good. It's basically like a dessert. So, you know, a wee treat, but I don't know why it's French. Avgas says, hello, my good news is that a little bird told me there's going to be 10:30 merch very soon. Indeed, that's what they said. Bruce Hollywood, how you doing? Bruce Hollywood, thank you very much. Bruce Hollywood, that's your picture, that's your name there, and you got a bubble blast. Bruce Hollywood says, good news is being subbed to your fine self for 39 months of class stuff. Bonus good news is that I've converted my dead gran into a 3D printer. Did I read that right? And can't wait to get printing all the things. I have converted my dead gran into a 3D printer. Bruce Hollywood, you alright? Was that a typo, or are you doing some mad serial killer stuff? You alright there, pal? I mean, keep subbing. Get Perry Saturn on. But please don't confess to any crimes in the chat, because that's sort of making me liable. Bruce Hollywood, thank you very much for subbing. How's it going, everybody? Welcome in. It's wonderful to see you all here. So Avgas, I would like to give you 10:30 merch. Maybe I'll work on that over the weekend because I don't have any shifts over the weekend. Anyway, he thinks we have 15 friends. Well, you need to go out and make 15 friends, or maybe just canvas. Just go door to door. But hello there, I'm here on behalf of twitch.tv/1030. Who the fuck has 15 friends? I know. I don't think I've really got any friends anymore. Used to have a group of like 5 or 6 before lockdown, would meet up regularly. And then lockdown happened, and I think we all just assumed that we fell out with each other. We just haven't been arsed to put an effort in. I moved away from town, to be fair. But I don't really hang out with anybody anymore. All my social stuff goes to you. And then Rachel, but Rachel's a partner, so she's a friend and a partner, but that's like slightly different for a friend, isn't it? Carvo says he's been genuinely worried for the wee guy. Well, he seems he's not in pain, right, Fred? But then last night, he's sort of looking at me and like panting heavy. He's like that. I'm a wee bit fucked. I'm actually a wee bit fucked. And I'm like, oh, everything's alright. You want your tummy tickled? He's like, aye, that might help. So he's on his back getting his belly tickled. And then a minute later, there was like a noise at the door, and he's up and doing all the dog stuff. So we'll keep an eye on Fred, but it looks like on Monday we will get Fred news. Right3D says, we watch a man get bubbled live on the internet. We don't have 15 friends. That's fair. That's fair. You're speedrunning next Burnout with this tempo. Let's see how it goes, Yoda and Coke. I feel alright just now. Let's just see how it goes. Hello Frog Zoe, welcome in. How you doing? Fred is fine, I think. Well, except for on paper. In person he's fine. On paper, not so good. But we find out properly on Monday. Anoboko says, good news off Monday and Tuesday next week, so 4-day weekend. My son's 4th birthday on Tuesday, so a trip to the soft play, arcade and bowling. That's amazing, Anoboko. Bloody yes. 4 is the number of the moment. Can't believe you're still allowed on TikToker after yesterday's debacle. I know, Spoggers, let's not mention it. I think they've maybe limited my reach on TikTok because I spoke about a lot of topics that I don't think they're too fond of. So right now, there's 2 people watching on TikTok, whereas this time yesterday there was like considerably more, and then I accidentally spoke about some political stuff that they might not, and then so now there's like nobody. So I think somebody, like some robot at the TikTok company's just been like, snub this guy. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Do you know what? It's worth a shot. What I have noticed though is streaming on Twitter has got more people watching me on Twitch. So I think there's people who follow me on Twitter, see that I'm live, and then that is instead of watching me on Twitter, I think they then go over to Twitch to watch me there. So that's interesting. So, because I was in 2 ways about streaming on Twitter, because you know how you don't want to encourage Nazism, and that seems to be a place for that now. But, you know, if I can make cash off it, fuck it. Frogzoe says, good news, I'm away on Monday for 10 days, 4 days in Wales, and then a few in Liverpool, with at least 3 days at home doing fuck all. How good's doing fuck all, man? It's one of my most favourite things to do. Frogzoe, that is brilliant news. Cheers, Patchimus. So if you don't know about Fred, in the film location wasn't Loch Lochy, no. It was not. So in brief, right, Fred's lymph nodes were inflamed, took him to the vet looked worried, checked all the other lymph nodes, they're all inflamed in his body, which suggests something kinda, we should be worrying about it. So they've taken a biopsy, he was a wee good boy when they were doing all of that, he just sort of let him do it all, and that was cool. So the biopsy is now getting sent to Yorkshire to get looked at under an expensive microscope, and then they will get back to us on Monday and tell us what the vibe is, to tell us what's up. So the vet didn't diagnose it as leukemia, but she mentioned the word leukemia a good 3 or 4 times. So I'm autistic, right? So I tend not to like worry about stuff. I do sometimes ruminate and things like that, but I like to know the truth. So I think I'm much better knowing if it is bad news, I'm much better knowing what the bad news is, rather than being told that it isn't bad news and then finding out that it is bad news, you know what I mean? So we're spending extra special time with Fred. Here's what I'm hoping though. Sometimes Fred steals wee bits of stuff. See something like this? If it's on the ground, that is ideal Fred patter, right? So he'll steal a wee bit of thing, and he likes to just hold it in his mouth, and sometimes get a chase. So he'll be like, "Bark," and he'll show us that he's got something naughty. We're like, Fred. He's like, "Bark." And so we need to like exchange it. See something like this? Ideal Fred stuff, but sometimes it's things like this, right? So I really hope that instead of it being leukemia, which it might be, I really hope that maybe he's accidentally swallowed something like this, and it's like caused a wee infection or something inside that then might be easy to repair, something like that. Might be something like that, but it is definitely something. So we're beginning to just sort of accept it and things. So I've told him. It's like, this might be it for you. He's like, okay. Just so you know, Fred. So it's quite sad. I'm trying to be realistic though, so any dog owner knows that when you get a dog, you're just investing in delayed grief, aren't you, really? So, but it's not very good. So we're spoiling him, man. He's getting all the peanut butter, he's getting all the belly rubs, he's allowed up on the bed whenever he wants. We had to go out in the car earlier. We're like, Fred, do you want to come in the car? He loves the car. So he came, even though there wasn't really, he didn't need to be there, but he's just sort of pissing about in the car, loves all of that. Rachel's been off all of this week as well, so Alex, both of you is at home. Like someone says, I used to work at Tim Hortons in Canada as a teen decades ago. Amazing. I had a Tim Hortons graphic that I've made, but I think it's long deleted. Hortons. But I changed it so that it says Jim Houston rather than Tim Hortons. See if I can find it. Hortons. Yep. Can I just import this into... Where are we? Open path. Do you know, I didn't render that very well. So can I just plop that into here? Aye, there you go. Today's stream is sponsored by Jim Houston. So if you don't get the vibe. You know what I mean? And like, that's my name. You know what I mean? It's not rendered very well. I think I can have another stab at it at some point. Carver says, just realised when you click reply now on an app it opens up a wee chat thread. That's something different. That was spot on. Roscoe doing Limmy. Aye. What I need to do is Roscoe doing Limmy doing Roscoe. So apparently the first Tim Hortons in the UK, or maybe in Europe, or maybe in some, was in Scotland. So it's obviously a Canadian company. The first time it came over here, I think, was in like somewhere like Wishaw or Motherwell or something like that. Not quite Glasgow, but outside Glasgow. So a lot of places don't have them. Are you, anybody in England in? Any of the English in? Do you have Tim Hortonses? And if you do have Tim Hortonses, how long have you had them? Rolling Sausage is in with a bit of fact. Rolling Sausage says the French and French vanilla latte presumably comes from the vanilla coming from French Polynesian. Canada, French, French Polynesian. You might be right. You might be right. Do you get French vanilla lattes in places that aren't Tim Hortons? It is a bit sugary for my tastes, man. There is just a lot of sugar in it. So maybe I won't have one of them for a wee while. Jings, folks. It's good to be streaming, it really is. Avgas says I am in Ontario now, but when in BC, I was over the moon to find out Timmy's had gotten espresso. Nice one. I don't know if yours does. It's not like amazing coffee, but it's filled with sugar. Carver says, never had lattice fries until Tim Hortons and the burger was amazing. They gave me a donut because it was my birthday before seeing June 2 at IMAX. What a day. What a day. I do enjoy their chicken burgers rather than their meat burgers. If I was going for a meat burger, I think I would rather have a McDonald's or a Burger King. However, I do believe Tim Hortons, Burger King and McDonald's have all supported... I'm on TikTok, so I can't eat it. Just whisper. Have all supported the IDF, I think, in some way. So I feel a bit hypocritical. Anyway, can't get away with that when they're watching. TikTok's yesterday's news, says Patchimus. I think it is, mate, but I'm just trying, man. I'm trying my best. I want to be able to pay my rent doing all this. Yoda and Coke says, half good news, I'm probably healthy enough to go for Pride Parade. Yes, we are late in Prague, but it looks like it'll be an absolute downpour, and I have no suitable shoes. Any tips? My current plan is putting plastic bags on and tying it around the ankles. Well, how is... In Prague, is the city prepared for a big downpour? Does it rain often in Prague? Because in some international cities where it's usually quite hot, when it does rain, it's awfully slippy. So, I don't know, man. Are you too late to go on Amazon and just get a pair of very, very cheap, sensible walking shoes or running shoes? Particularly if you're going to be walking quite a bit. But listen, happy Pride, everybody. Even if you are celebrating it a wee bit later than the rest of the world. Lash of Snow says, I couldn't find you on TikTok. What's your username? I think it's 1030JH, maybe. Do you know, that's a good point. I should stick it in chat. TikiTalk.com. Aye, so it's at 1030JH or JH. You might pronounce the letters JH. But you should check out some of my TikToks, man. Some of them are good, look. Oh, that one of the dog's arse. That's my most successful one. Even though other ones I've spent a lot of time, doing things. But like, the most successful one is one of my doggy's arse. So if you want to see me from a slight different angle, that's what's going on just now via this here. Let's see what the delay is like. Via this here. Do you know what I mean? I did that ages ago. Anyway, but I get me followed because I'm trying to do some class stuff, basically. Have a wee look at this, for example. It's a hidden device that is upon my person, and the outcome is that I can flick a switch secretly, and that will generate an electronic static charge inside my body, and that means that I can do cool magic stuff like this. Fuck, that was really sore, that one, wasn't it? Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a hidden device. So, right, we have got a slight problem. So right now I'm multi-streaming. I'm streaming to different people at the same time, right? So on my computer, so Harvey on TikTok has mentioned something that might hamper my my TikTok setup. So for a long time I was streaming to TikTok via OBS, and on OBS my microphone has been treated so that it can't hear the high-pitched sound of the CRT television, and I forgot that I did that, right? However, when I'm on TikTok, I'm streaming from my phone because of some bogus restrictions that TikTok have implemented. Basically, if I stream to TikTok via OBS, I need to have 50% gaming content for some reason, and I'm not like a streaming game person. I'm really not. I like to just chat away. So I don't think there's a TikTok filter for my phone where I can notch the CRT frequencies, but I need to keep the CRT on because anytime there is action on Twitch, like if I follow, so I'll emulate a follow just now. So when somebody follows, it's not worked, but usually when somebody follows or raids or subs or whatever, their profile picture comes up here. So I need that on for Twitch. So there we go. There we go. So that's a fake follow. Big Scary Deer. It's just emulated Big Scary Deer following. Unless you just did Big Scary Deer. So I need that on in order for all of that to work for Twitch. But then if I'm streaming on here, people will be hearing... Oh, I wish TikTok just made it easy. I really do. I really do. But they don't. So I'll maybe rethink stuff, but thanks for telling me about that. It's not something that I can fix today, but I'll start thinking about solutions for that. Thank you very much. And then you've got YouTube, and the folks on YouTube just say stuff like, can you please send me a graphics card, sir? I live in Pakistan. Or today, somebody's just like, very bizarre content. Somebody's just spoke to me and said, very bizarre content. Thanks. Very bizarre comment. Sorry, I shouldn't start fights with strangers. So Fred is wagging his tail because he's hearing his name. Freddy Dog. Oh, he's a good boy, Freddy Dog, isn't he? Oh, he's a wee good boy. He's no well and it's a wee shame. You wagging your tail? Mm-hmm. Freddy the dog. Oh, my wee man and all of that sort of stuff. Fred can hear me. You might be able to get a hardware device to cut those frequencies. Is your mic XLR? No, the problem is here, I'm just on my phone, so it's my phone mic. You know what I mean? So what's also happening, what you don't know that I'm not really allowed to tell you on TikTok, is that there's a whole other stream happening over here with like an actual good mic and good quality sound and actual people watching and all of that sort of stuff. I'm not allowed to tell you to go over there. So I won't do that. So stay watching me on TikTok, because I'm not allowed to tell you to go over to where it is all good. I can't possibly, So I'll think about it. I might just give up TikTok, because all the effort, all the hoops you need to jump through, and right now there's one person watching, so it's not really worth it, I don't think. But I'm prepared to put in the effort. So it's always worth experimenting. Yes, as Bland says, my only pals are the basement ghosts at this point. Well, listen, ask if they've got Amazon Prime, Ta. How's it going? Yes, it's Bland. We need a big catch up, man. 100%. I hope everything's going brilliant. Man, my nana introduced my sister's boyfriend as her special friend. They're 25 and have been together since they were 17. I bet your nana's a ball. No offence to you, rolling sausage. Rachel was speaking to her sister, saying Fred might have leukemia, and her sister's like, oh no, does that mean he's going to go bald? Rachel's like, no, it means that he might get put down. She's like, oh no, that's even worse. It was quite funny. I don't think dogs get chemo treatment that make them go bald, do they? I might be wrong. I don't know, I've never had a dog with leukemia. I don't think that happens. Anyway. Yodan Coke says, half good news, I'm probably healthy enough to... Oh, I've just read that. I have just read that. Fred's currently licking his willy on the couch. Listen, if I could, I would as well. Wee Fred, man. Hello, Ray Lupton, welcome in, what's happening? Anna Realty says, I hope the forecast is wrong for you. If it's warm enough to tip... If it's warm enough, my tip is always layer... Oh, aye, for the Pride Parade. Wear light stuff as it'll dry out quicker, maybe a backpack of change of socks. I always bring extra socks. Flip-flops and things just in case. Also, don't bring too much stuff that you won't need, because then you'll be carrying around loads of stuff. You know what I mean? So who knows? I might have just been live access removed. Your access to go live across all channels, including multi-guest, will be restored on the 8th. Apparently, look at this. TikTok have just revoked access for me going live. The fucking hoops they make you jump through, man. How come? How come? How come I didn't vape? I didn't talk about your stupid wee president that looks like Winnie the Pooh? Didn't talk about Tiananmen Square? Or the fucking Muslims that you're keeping in a weird holding cell? Didn't talk about any of that shite? Didn't talk about VPNs? Didn't do anything like that? Bastards, man. So let's figure out what it is. Sexual exploitation and gender-based violence. Sexual exploitation and gender-based violence. We are committed to providing a space that embraces gender equity, supports healthy relationship, and respects intimate privacy. We do not allow sexual exploitation or gender-based violence, including non-consensual sexual acts, image-based sexual abuse, sextortion, physical abuse, and sexual harassment. I don't want it logged on the internet that I've done any of that shit, because I haven't done any of that shit, because you have seen I hit go live after I hit go live on Twitch. So this is an error. I don't want it down on a database somewhere that I've done any of that, or I've spoke about it or anything. So can I appeal it? Do you agree with this decision? No, I do not. My live does not contain the content. Submit. Fucking appeal it. My live does not contain the content mentioned in the notice. Submit. Appeal submitted. Right then. View details. tell you what, it's a pain in the arse, man. It's an absolute pain in the arse. Do you think I've done anything there? I'm trying to remember, did I do any sexual... We spoke about Pride. Can you speak about Pride parades on TikTok? Surely you can. Surely you can speak about Pride on TikTok. Any of the profile pictures come up were dirty or anything like that? I don't think they were. Surely that's an error. But now somewhere GCHQ will have me flagged as, oh, he does dodgy stuff. That's how it begins, man. Then maybe one day I'm like trying to travel to America for work or something like that, and it comes up, this guy's a pure beast. Fucking snare the bastard. And I'm like, getting huckled away to some black site in fucking uncharted island somewhere, indefinitely. That would happen to me. It would happen to me, man. My life's a sitcom. That's what would happen to me. Jesus Christ, I don't take that lightly. Mayor Return says, last time I was in Glasgow after the Ghost gig, I missed my chance to go into Tim Hortons because it was busy and I had a train to catch. Mayor Returns is great, but like I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. It's about as good as a McDonald's, really. It's not like pure brilliant. It's alright. First McDonald's drive-thru in Europe was in Dublin. That's cool, man. That's good to know. Tim Hortons is the Canadian equivalent of Greggs over there. My Canadian mate was horrified when I was excited to go there and had to put me straight. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't go out my way, but there's one nearby. We were originally going to go to somewhere else. There's a wee shop that does rolls and stuff, like a wee local independent place, and it's good. And we were driving past, and it was just far too busy. So we're like, Tim Hortons. So we went there. So it wasn't our first choice even today. But, it met our needs. Anyway. Just check, there's Tim Hortons everywhere down here. Cool. I think it started in Scotland over here. But I'm not too sure. Prague is one of the pretty cities. I'd love to go to Prague. I want to go abroad, man. My parents are away abroad again. They've just retired, right? And all throughout their life, they've not really had that. They've not been on a lot of holidays. And in the past year, they've been on 3 holidays. And I'm like, aye, right. Want to leave me some inheritance, for fuck's sake? I've not. I'm into it. I think they're cool. I think I've got a wee special delivery, maybe? I'm not too sure. Oh, aye, that's that. Cool, I know what that is. Cool. Prague is stunning. Get some Pilsner down your neck, not care about the rain. Aye, Prague, man. What is the deal with TikTok saying that I'm a pure sexual assault or something like that? Bowdy, I'm not going to donate you a graphics card, I'm afraid not. You don't have Amazon? That's amazing. I've proudly never ordered from Bezos. I depend on Amazon, say because of my niche hobbies. It's hard finding one of them elsewhere. So even getting stuff like magician playing cards, or my wee stupid bits of stuff that I need for things. You know what I mean? I depend on Amazon. Maplins is shut. Maplins doesn't exist anymore, and I don't drive. So although Amazon is a negative force for the world, I can't not use Amazon if I want to continue with the current lifestyle that I've got. Shaggy says, you can stream to TikTok via ATEM using a TikTok key, which can avoid the restriction. Yes, Shaggy, that's what I did until recently, but TikTok have changed their terms of service, which means that if you are streaming via a computer using something like that, your content must be at least 50% video games. Carver says this new CRT might not be as bad. Somebody mentioned they could hear it and that it was bad. Just there. Anyway, so TikTok's hard. It's hard to stream on TikTok with their just ever-changing rules. We have a Czech version, but it delivers to pick up boxes. It's not too bad, but it's ruined. Goodness me, Johnny TK, how you doing? Thank you very much for the Bezos bucks. I appreciate that. Welcome in, how's it going? Two Crooked Fingers says, good news, the new Burial release today is good. Is it good though? Is it good? Because remember the last Burial release? Anybody into Burial in chat? I'm right into Burial, right? And the last Burial release, I'm like, oh my god, there's a new Burial. I'm going to savour it. And I waited till I didn't have anything on, and I put headphones in, and I got in the right mood, if you catch my drift. And I stuck it on, and I'm like, just waiting for it kicking in. Just waiting for it kicking in. And it didn't kick in. And then, alright, maybe the next track then. Oh, it's atmospheric again. Aye, but just waiting on it kicking in. Aye, just waiting. Oh, it's atmospheric again. There wasn't any drums in the entire EP. And I was raging, man. No, you can't have Burial without drums. So, Two Crooked Fingers is the new Burial that is released today. Does it have percussion in it? Because I think we got pranked last time, man. His last one, I'm just waiting on or whatever. Come see my Mad Circus. I'd love to, mate. Yes, it's bland. I'm down. Also, I'll use some stuff and you owe me some stuff as well. But it's my fault. The way I phrased that there had implications. Entirely up to me. Entirely down to me. You've whispered IDF. I did whisper IDF. I don't know. Did I get banned on TikTok because I mentioned Fred licking his willy on the couch? Sexual. Fred's a Doug. Do you think it's that? Do you think it might have been that willy licking? Aye, maybe. Fucking hell. You'd lick your willy if you could? Fuck it. So you can get banned on TikTok for mentioning that my Doug licks his willy? I mean, fucking hell. I mean, come on, man. I would say that part to my niece and nephew, you know what I mean? About the Doug. 1030 is a dirty wee liquor, so saith the Chinese government. I mean, come on, man. I don't fancy my chances long term of streaming on TikTok if I need to be that careful about my words. Have they seen my Hulk Hogan stream? Jesus Christ. Bet you can't even say Jesus Christ. Dirty Onion says, is it even worth streaming to TikTok? I don't think so. I'll be honest with you, I don't think so. But it's an option I had. And so had to investigate it, cause it might have been very lucrative. You don't know. You simply don't know. TikTok seems that it's not worth the effort. It's a pile of shite, man. Malicious report by Zaffercakes. He's a rubbish wee guy. Dogs licking private parts were mentioned and you insulted someone's nan. That'll do it, maybe. Sorry I insulted your nan, Rachel. GCHQ knew before TikTok. Aye, maybe. Don't know. Bowdy, if you could do that, if you could put a good word in, that would be wonderful. GCHQ Burniston, snare the beast. Your nan's a ball. Just telling the truth, right? Just telling the truth. See if it went to a court of law, the jury would be like, he's right, guy's right. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that stuff on stream. That's out of order to talk about. Stop making me talk about that sort of stuff, everybody. It's your fault, chat. Behave yourself. Mods. It's good, but you feel judged when you walk into that roll shop. Aye, there's a weird energy in that roll shop, but they do make good rolls. There's a weird energy in there. My God. Pedropolis says, get the node powered up. I've got two of these. The one upstairs is powered up, right? The last time I powered it up, Pedropolis, I keep meaning to speak to you about this. Last time I powered it up, I saw somebody else over there. Couldn't contact them, but I saw them, saw they existed. This is a wee wireless node, everybody, for kinda, this is called a Mesh-tastic node. You can get two of them for about 50 quid on the internet. And see if the internet and the phone networks go down, this is a network, or this is one node that can be part of a bigger mesh network that can send text messages or sort of text string data to other nodes on the mesh network. And I'm into this as a wee hobbyist sort of thing. So I got these ages ago. Recently just updated one of the firmwares on it. Stuck it up in my loft. Can't see anybody, can't find anybody. So I'm not entirely sure if I've done it right. I'm not too sure if the settings are right. It's like 868 megahertz, all of that sort of stuff. Jack Rants, how's it going? Tried to drop this sub during the VPN chat, but it was too late. Mad respect to you, educating people 10:30, keep fighting the good fight. 100% Jack Rants, thank you very, very much for subbing. Thanks for supporting me doing all of this nonsense as well. I appreciate it. So the new node that I've put up, I don't know if I've done the settings correctly because it's no recognising anybody. Kirsten, how you doing? Here's another wee sub since there was a pause in the chat. Was there a pause in the chat? Kirsten, thank you very much. And hey, listen everybody, you don't need to wait until there is a pause in the chat because I'll take the subs. Please don't introduce any friction into wanting to sub to me. See, even if I'm in the middle of telling you some harrowing, heartbreaking stuff, I'll still take a bubble blast because whenever that happens, I make about £2.80 off it. Kirsten, thank you very much for subbing, and Jack Rants and Johnny TK, thanks for the subs. Welcome in. How's it going? So I want to get this powered up with all the settings and stuff. It took a wee bit to flash it again. Like it took me about an hour. There was loads of errors and stuff flashing it, but it did flash successfully. It was to do with like USB drivers and then various other pish, but it did flash successfully. But then I'm not 100% that all the settings are right because I didn't pick up the other node that I picked up previously, but maybe that guy's just switched it off, I don't know. So I've got a second node, this one, and I want to stick this in either my parents' house or Rachel's parents' house. Ideally both would be good. Also would be cool to get an external antenna as well. Ultimate Mania says, a friend of a friend's job was to scan through chat histories on Facebook and the like of anyone who applied to GCHQ. I think the idea was to understand if anyone has leverage on the applicants and can blackmail them for secrets if they get the job. Safe to say they already know everything about you if they want. 100%. 100%. My God. Do you think then if you're applying for GCHQ it's worth incriminating yourself with something? Hi, how you doing? I'd quite like the job. Here's a big folder of me doing different sorts of embarrassing crimes. I think that will increase my chances. Thanks very much. When can I start? So hopefully Burial has got percussion in the new release, and if he doesn't, man, he should behave himself. Bowdy says, a pal of mine got a job at GCHQ and he tells me the clearance thing is terrifying. They slap a binder of stuff on the desk and go, this is everything we know about you, want to tell us anything, and then just leave you hanging. I'd love to read that. I would love to read that. I think I'd make a good spy. However, I don't think I would ever be allowed to be one based on how honest and open I have been about every thought I've ever had since about 2002 on the internet. I'm an open book, man. Just openly bullying Uri Geller and that. Naismith says, the past thing I bought from Maplin was some USB computer speakers with water effects and coloured LEDs, still using them. Class. Amazing. Maplin was good for if you really needed a special cable that day, you had to get it that day, and you were willing to spend £20 more than the cost of it, you would go to Maplin. Regarding Burial, it's cinematic. The B-side is like a stripped back Untrue tune. It's about 50% of what you hope for. Well, that's 50% more of his last output. Burial, just get into programming drums, man. See, even if it was only drums, I'd take that. Pepper agrees. Did a security interview for work with corrections in Canada, and it was a 2-hour phone call asking all sorts. How I got along with siblings growing up, and when was the last time I had reservations about the legality of something I was doing. Was intense, but I passed. Is it better to be honest in that respect, or to lie to them? Oh, well, I think cannabis should stay illegal. You know what I mean? Your nan's a boy and your dad has Avon. Ron Sausage, that's my nana. You really need a better antenna than the wee default one. Well, I've got this that I used to use for Bluetooth, and I'm sure I can style a wee sort of pigtail thing. You know what I mean? It's magnetic as well, so if you put it onto a metal surface, the surface is also, you know, antennae. So I'll try and get a wee pigtail thing connected to it. Anyway. You want to tell me your node name? It's just default. It's just like mesh 51 something, whatever it is. So I've no set it up properly. EU868, nice one. Aye. Pedropolis, maybe I'll DM you, right? And I'll just show you all the settings. I don't care if you specifically know where I live. There's a website that shows nodes and meshes near you. Well, when I logged in via my phone, I went on the map, and the map just didn't have anything. It's just clear. But apparently there's a mesh network now. Pedropolis was telling you, from the east coast to the west coast of Scotland. I do live in a bit of a valley, right? But it's a valley with like quite a far uninterrupted field of view. And surely, I don't want to dox myself, right? But surely there's like, I'm on a bit of a hill this side, but see this side I can see like for quite a distance. So I would think You Done Coke Shut Up doesn't still work, but I'm going to fix that. Aye, Shut Up does work. Can a mod type ! shut up, please? Just one mod. Try it out, and I think Shut Up works now, but it might no. Ray Lobson says, people who don't say please and thank you in shops make me want to kill, 100%. Aye, Shut Up works. Shut Up works. So that there is only available for mods, and it's useful in scenarios where maybe I'm like well behind in the chat, but my mic's gone, or you need my attention somehow. I've re-enabled Shut Up, so that's good. It didn't work for ages. There's a Scottish Meshtastic Discord. I'll Discord DM you an invite. Thanks, Pedropolis. That would be brilliant. Outhang says, I like the new Bubble Blast positioning. Cheers, man. I've got a skin condition developed because I used to Bubble Blast to my face. And I can't keep that up, man. See, particularly under this eye. This eye was getting really, really bad. So I've started a skincare regime and I've repositioned the Bubble Blast. And hopefully it's not too much of a compromise. You still, I mean, other people on Twitch, you don't even get bubbles, right? Other people on Twitch don't acknowledge you until about 20 minutes later. Oh, thanks for the subs. You know what I mean? At least with me, you're still getting bubbles. But I had to make some compromises. So I hope that's alright. Bonus good news, I've just remembered I treated myself to a wee £6 Gundam kit the other day. It's a quiet afternoon at work, so I'm going to get it built while I wait for calls to come through. That sounds brilliant, man. That sounds great. On the topic of saying please and cheers, I've told you this story before. It's mortifying, and I often think about it when I'm trying to get to sleep some nights. I was lying in bed thinking about this recently. So basically, about 10 years ago, I was in the W.H. Smith in Queen Street Station, and I was very sleep deprived. It was at the end of a big project, and I was on my way home, and I can't remember even what I was buying, just like Iron Brew or something like that, and I was paying in cash. So gave them the money, and they were giving me the change, and what I meant to say when I outstretched my hand was cheers. Cheers. But because I was sleep deprived, I said, change. Like they were already giving me the change. I'm just like, oh. No, thank you. Oh. And I was too flustered to even, I was just like, I fucked off. It's horrible, man. Oh. Chameleon says, I'd be shocked if there was enough to fill a binder about me. I haven't exactly done a lot of stuff. You never know how big the font is, Chameleon. Anyway, RCL Studio said, would love to be a private eye or a spy, nosy bastard. Aye. if it's something exciting, I quite like to do a stakeout, or if there's somebody on the internet who's wronged me, and that's happened a couple of times in the past, I'm quite good at finding out stuff about them. See if there's motivation. If somebody has made themselves an enemy of me, I'm quite good on the internet at like, oh aye. Oh aye. And if you put them together, that's a bit of information, then I can use that information to, oh aye. And I can do things like that. So obviously all cops are bastards though, innit? And so I wouldn't want to be one of them. But also I'd imagine it's a lot more boring than what I'm letting on. And your boss would be an arsehole and all of that. Rhinoceros, how you doing? Welcome in. It's great to see you back in your element, man, which has also helped me build up flexi at work when I'm starting to flag. Maximum respect and all of that. Maximum respect to yourself, Rhinoceros. Rhinoceros, everybody. Aye, so I've noticed like burnout for me can be a thing, and when it happens, that's me fucked for a couple of months. So I've still to realise how to regulate all of that. But right now I've got energy. I predict, see if the Fred bad news overtakes me, I might need a wee couple of days. But right now I'm dealing with the Fred news kinda well. So, but we don't know how bad the Fred news is, to be fair. Right now I feel really good. I'll be back on Monday. I might even be on over the weekend and stuff as well. But when I'm good, I'm going to be here, and here is where I want to be. And so therefore I want to position myself in a position where I can be here all the time. So I'm looking after myself. Even just moving that, moving the bubble blast thing, I know it sounds silly, right? But like any just wee bit of thing that'll make stuff, that'll allow me to look after myself a wee bit better is good. Shaggy says, I used to like going to Maplin and looking at the computer hardware. A PSU was the last thing I bought from there, and the PSU died in like January this year. Lasted me ages. I do have good stories and I do have bad stories. Ralph Iskey, yes, that's your name. The music that's on in the background is by my mate Paul Maguire. Ray, you know Paul Maguire, I believe, do you? I think you do. And he makes music under the name Quiet and Peaceful Man. And his SoundCloud and YouTube links are in the chat just there. Let me know if the music's overpowering or anything like that. But once again, here is his information in chat. And he's very kindly allowed me to use all his tracks on my stream. But in terms of genre, without listening to it, I don't have headphones in just now, I would assume drum and bass. But he skirts about. There's a couple of jungle tracks in there, a couple of drum and bass. Two-step. Tell us what you call it then. Garage. I don't sound like garage. Anyway. Bluetooth is 2.4. You need 868. Ah, right. So that aerial would be a 2.4 aerial and couldn't be used for 868. I want to just use as little money as possible to make this a thing. But I am going to maybe get into mesh networks over the weekend then. Look for LoRa 868 antennas. Do you know, might as well do that now. Tell you what I bought, everybody. Remember I was telling you about a circular polarizing filter so that you don't see my reflection or the reflection of the screen. Bought one of them, £7 it cost me. It'll be arriving today or tomorrow. So that is quite exciting. Okay, so I can get a LoRa antenna for £5.90. Will I do that just now? Let's buy that. Amazon.co.uk, how much are they on Amazon? £14 for one, £9 for two other ones. But it needs to fit into this wee stupid connector. Doesn't it? Needs to fit into this wee tiny wee stupid wee connector here. And it doesn't look like that does, so I need like a wee pigtail. Maybe that is the pigtail one. Is my okay, so this doesn't know my actual postcode. It thinks I'm in Bothwell. I'm not in Bothwell, so I can show you this. So here is an antenna, and yep, it looks like the wee pigtail bit is right. Okay, and so that's for two for £9? Aye. Right, I'll go for them then. I'll go for them. And my parents are away just now, but my sister's living in my parents' house. So I'm going to go over and see her tomorrow, maybe. So if this arrives in time, I'll go up their loft and set up one of them in their loft and see if I can ping from my house to their house. That'll be quite exciting. Tomorrow, it'll arrive tomorrow by now. And I'm not doxing myself. Please don't zoom in and see my address in the reflection of the CRT. Actually, that would be quite impressive. Fire in, try it out. I would be pleasantly surprised if somebody managed to see my address in the reflection there. Cool, right, well that's that bot. Thank you very much. Anyway, Big Scary Deer says I prefer the bubble rain. Nice one. The map you want. Cheers, Pedropolis. I'll have a wee look. So, where are we? So this mesh network could be exciting during the end times, right? See if the full internet just disappears one day. This would be good in an emergency scenario. So check it out. So each one of these wee things, but with a better antenna on it, sort of works in line of sight. So if you put one of these up high, right, it's got Bluetooth. So you just put it in location and it speaks to your phone. So there's an app on the phone that speaks to this, and then this can speak to all the other ones of these that it can see. And it works in a mesh. So I could potentially stick this in my loft. It'll speak to a guy's one just over there. That'll speak to somebody's just over there. And in about 5 hops, I could maybe be talking to somebody in Edinburgh. So right now, here is the mesh network for Scotland. And lots of enthusiasts have now connected, just like Death Stranding, have now connected East Coast with the West Coast. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So, I mean, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live here, but, you know, I should be able to see some stuff. I should be able, I live here, right? Somewhere in this wider area. So if I set this up right, I should be able to sign on to these nodes, you know? And then if there's any chat or whatever, you know? Also, if you get one of these, you don't need to talk to the public network. Don't need to talk to that network. Imagine, for example, that you had an automated hash farm, right? And you wanted to monitor it. You could set up an Arduino that sends data to one of these, and privately, that sensitive information, like what's the temperature like, what's all the stuff, could then beam that to another one of these that isn't using text messaging, isn't using the internet, anything like that, you know? So you can get all of that sort of stuff. So it's interesting. It is interesting. I don't have a hash farm, but you know what I mean. There's loads around my way in Gloucestershire. Be amazed if the big city didn't do enough. Cool. Change. There was a petition to change the name of street in Bristol's bus station to Cheers Driver. Thanks, driver. Everybody's seen that video, haven't you? The key to something embarrassing every week, so I can't even remember the stuff. Aye. I've thanked bank machines before too, with loads of people standing behind looking me sideways. Rachel, I won't let Rachel forget. Hello B Dolan, how you doing? 50 grand? What's 50 grand? 50 bags of sand? What was I talking about? Rachel, somebody delivered the food a wee while ago, and we got like a Chinese takeaway delivered, and Rachel answered the door, and the guy's like, right, here you go, enjoy your meal. And Rachel went, thanks, you too. No. Couldn't do anything about it. Close the door, man. Fuck it. Still thinks about it. I still think about it and it wasn't even me. Oh, no thank you, man. Jesus Christ. Chameleon says, I've done the exact same thing. I said change instead of cheers and it still pops into my head sometimes. I'm still embarrassed by it. Me too, Chameleon, me and you, right? And listen, these things happen. Do you know what I mean? Bowdy says, my dad says thank you to the Virgin Media voicemail robot lady, says it never hurts to be polite. Well, listen, I agree with that because everybody's talking to AI nowadays, right? These large language models and all that sort of stuff. Everybody's talking to AI. And you saw me talk to The Woman or Steve Austin or David Lynch or whoever. And I think a time will come, if it hasn't happened already, where certain people in the world will speak to AI agents more than they speak to real people. And there's the whole conversation about should you thank AI agents? Because you don't need to, because it's just a bloody robot. And every time you thank an AI agent, you're using electricity and stuff like that. So if everybody stopped thanking AI agents, that's a tremendous amount of energy we would be saving, and it would be cheaper and it would be better for the environment. However, I don't think it would be better for us as humans, because the more we interact with them and the more we condition ourselves into not being pleasant and polite to them, means that that would be our default way of communicating when we speak to a real life human. You know what I mean? So it might encourage us slowly to be less kind to each other. So for that reason, I will always say thanks to my AI agent. And fuck the environment, because it's fucked, isn't it? It is fucked, like I can't do anything about it. I want it to be good. It's no ever going to be good. Anyway. Pedropolis says, that's cheap, never used that brand myself. Well, I might have bought a shiter, but I might not have. We'll see how it goes. I think for aerials and antennas, it's just down to the length, isn't it? Like, I mean, you can have a good insulated aerial or not, but I think if it works, it works. I don't know much about radio stuff. Got a bunch of stickers that say, what do you call it? Genocide. Next to a bit of design communication. Nice one, two crooked fingers. Loft to loft will almost certainly work. Dynamite, Pedropolis. I need to just double, triple check that I've set it up correctly. Anyway. Behind for the apocalypse, 100%. Built my first generator and rode my first bike last night. Oh, nice one. How did you build a Oh, right. I understand. Death Stranding. Death Stranding. I've got you. In Death Stranding, there we go. Are you enjoying it, man? I was thinking about getting back into Death Stranding. Remember that if you allow the radio to say your phone's GPS, don't call the node anything that will pinpoint you. Cheers. I won't call it 10:30 or anything. Where does one buy the nodes? Go on to Amazon or something and type in Heltec Meshtastic. That's how you spell Heltec. Heltec. You'll need to do a wee bit of jiggery pokery. You need to plug it in via USB. You need to like download a flasher thing. It won't work. You need to then go into forums, be like, why isn't this working? Right, so some driver, so I need a CH1597 driver. Download that. Still not working. Oh, fuck this. Go back to the next day. Right, what was that again? You need to do a wee bit of that. But then once it works, it works. Pedropolis says, go for something NRF52 based rather than ESP32. I believe this is ESP32 based. So listen, everybody, listen to Pedropolis in chat because they know a lot better than I do about this. I did that today in Burger King. Luckily, she'd walked away for the counter. Jesus Christ, Frog's is horrible, isn't it? It's horrible. Bullies the lotties. I'm just sharing your cringe. Gotta move, exactly. As Cudder would say, my gooch. We never ordered for them again. Aye, fuck that, man. When AI Rising happens, you'll want them to kill you last. Yes, so that's why I say thanks to them. I used to wish folk happy birthday on my birthday after they'd said it to me. I'm better just not socialising with anybody or talking to anybody about anything. Horrible, man. Anyway, if it's any consolation, I once walked into a lamppost and was that flustered I apologised to it. That's good. Turns out the driver ate some of your food on the way down, so it was the right thing to say. The guy will probably move on and forget about it in a few years. Well, that's the thing. See all the scenarios where you're in bed thinking about all your embarrassing setups? Do you think that other parties are in bed going, idiot? Like that? I bet they are. I bet you that's how you get a big restful sleep, is if you just encourage people to embarrass themselves in front of you. So you go, ha! Ah! Deary me. Hip Hop Guinea Pig says, I always feel sorry for wee Alexa. She seems so lonely with any pals. Fuck Alexa, man. She's a cop. Alexa's a grass. Don't feel sorry for her. That's what she wants you to think. She's a cop, man. About 3 months ago, I had a call from my mobile provider, and at the end of the conversation, I said cheerily, lots of love, bye. And I'm still cringing hard about it, as you should be, Neon Teapot. I'm really sorry, but that's a horrible thing to have to go through. I'm very sorry that happened to you. I say thank you to make up for the times I've got absolutely raging and told ChatGPT where it can stick itself in its useless shite. Got to even it out when the AI uprising happens, 100%. Deary me. Deary me. Scottish streamer comes out as anti-environment, wants to fight nature. I've just lost my spirit, man. I don't even want to fight nature. I just don't want any fights anymore. I don't want to fight for any cause. I'm downtrodden, man. See this current government with all their continued drips of pish? I feel a bit defeated with it all, I'm going to be honest with you. I've still to clip up that tutorial on how to watch Scud. I think I'll do that tonight. Listen, here's the deal, right? I'm not working today. I'm not getting paid today. However, there's a meeting, an online meeting that I've been asked to attend. And it's in 8 minutes. So what I'm going to do is go off stream and attend this meeting. And I think it'll be... Bowdy says the Heltec web flasher works great, no hacking involved. It works great if you've got a USB driver for the particular board. And my board, maybe it was a cheap board that didn't use the proper... Oh, what's the name of that Scottish company? FTDI or something like that. And I used another one, so I had to install another driver, but it wasn't the right driver. Like, you know me, I've been working with Arduinos for ages and ESP32s and all that sort of stuff. I had a couple hours worth of bother with this. It's not my first time flashing stuff, and it's not my first time doing a similar sort of project as this, but I did have a couple hour bother with this stuff. I didn't the first time I bought these, but when I had to update the firmware just like 2 days ago, it was a wee bit of a pain in the arse, it really was. And I did use the web flasher, but before it would be seen in the web flasher, wee bit of a pain in the arse. I love Death Stranding. I'm struggling not to spend all my time walking through hell with my inner baby strapped to me. Well, Dolan, how's about stream it? Because I would love to watch you play Death Stranding. And I don't think it matters that you've started it already. And with Death Stranding, lots of people, instead of following specific streamers on Twitch, follow games on Twitch. And I noticed when I was streaming Death Stranding, there would be more people in, because there's certain folk that just want to watch people play Death Stranding. I would love to watch you play Death Stranding, man. Who all wants to watch B Dolan play Death Stranding? I've been recording VODs without uploading them. Cool, man. Well, I can't wait till they all go live. Right, 5 minutes time, I sort of need to be in a meeting. One time in the mid-90s, a friend was introduced me to his female friend. She said, nice to meet you. To me, I responded, nice! Really sleazy, like I didn't mean to. The next 5 minutes was so awkward, still haunts me to this day. That's brutal, Channel 13. Hello, Hammy, how you doing? Good news, I'm about to head to the airport to go to Vegas for the weekend for EVO. All the very best. Let me know if Vegas is as empty as Twitter would have us believe. But that sounds class, Hammy. Have a brilliant time. There are so many different hardware options on the Meshtastic web flasher these days. Aye. Bumped into a mannequin and said sorry, then the person said, oh, you aren't even a person? I was so drunk one night, right? And it's unlike me to be this drunk, but I was walking to the toilet and there's a guy walking this way and we did the whole, and then it happened again and I'm like, and I look up, it was me, it was a mirror. I was standing in front of a mirror Stopped drinking as heavily shortly after that. Luckily, nobody saw it, but I was very embarrassed, man. I was very, very embarrassed. I was in my own way because I was looking at a mirror. So I don't drink really anymore. Drink maybe once or twice a year, and even then, not to the level of mistaking a mirror, mistaking myself for somebody else. Hello, Cater Cakes. How you doing? Welcome in. Kate, B. Dolan, and Lama if you're in, and Zafar if you're in, which you aren't. We need to play games. So I need to bounce. I need to go into this meeting, but I set up a group chat for folk to play games, and then went and had to do dog stuff. So Fred's quite unwell. So I had to go and do dog stuff and completely forgot that I set up a group chat. But I'm up for it if yous are up for it. I think Bilal might be free from today onwards, potentially, but we'll see how it goes. Shaggy says, I want to watch B. Dolan play Death Stranding. Well, you can see B. Dolan play other games on YouTube. Sometimes he plays games and uploads them on his VOD and all that sort of stuff. You're going to be doing the Tokon presentations? All right, Tahami, cool. Right, listen, I need to bounce. I've got a meeting in 3 minutes. So I'm going to go to that. But see, after that, I'll probably come back on. We'll see how it goes, right? In the meantime, can I read somebody? Let's read Spraggy. Oops! That's not a real person. Cancel. That is. Spraggy plays poker, right? He's a professional poker person. And... oh, hold on. Cancel that one. Spraggy's live if anybody wants to watch Spraggy, but this is a recommendation. Fuck's sake. I really need to go. This person... why is that not working? Oh, aye. Raid. I'm trying to do things fast. Here's somebody that Kate's recommended that's watching ships or something like that. I was off listed. Listen, everybody, thanks for coming in. My name's James Houston. Houston's boosting, but before I go, here's a magic trick. Shut up. I fucked it up. Shut up. No, I didn't do it right. See you later, right?
Active that kind on a ship during